This is the story of Mr. Gumpy's outing. Once there was a man named Mr. Gumpy. He lived in a house near the river. And because he lived near the river, he had a very big boat. He loved to go out on the river in his boat. So did all of the other people in the town. One day, Mr. Gumpy was taking his boat out, and two children from the town saw him and said, "Mr. Gumpy, could we please go in for a ride in your boat?" There was a little boy and a little girl. And Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, you can go for a ride in my boat, but please don't argue." They said, "No problem." So Mr. Gumpy got in his boat, the little boy got in his boat, and the little girl got in his boat. They were going down the river just nicely when on the edge of the river they saw a rabbit. And Rabbit said, "Oh, Mr. Gumpy, could I please have a ride in your boat?" Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, but please don't hop about." The rabbit said, "That's okay, I won't." So the rabbit got into the boat. Next, as they were going down the river, they saw Cat. And Cat said, "Mr. Gumpy, could I please have a ride in your boat?" Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, but please don't chase the rabbit." "No problem," said the cat. So he got in the boat. Then they were going down the river and they saw a dog. And the dog was so excited he waved and said, "Mr. Gumpy, could I please have a ride in your boat?" Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, but please don't tease the cat." He said, "Don't worry, I won't." So the dog got in the boat. Then as they were going down the river, they saw Pig. And Pig said, "Mr. Gumpy, could I please have a ride in your boat?" Mr. Gumpy said, "My boat's getting pretty full, but you can have a ride as long as you don't muck about." "Don't worry," said the pig, "I won't." So Pig got in the boat. Then they were going down the river and they saw the lamb. And Lamb said, "Mr. Gumpy, can I please have a ride in your boat?" And Mr. Gumpy looked at his boat and said, "My boat is getting too full, but I suppose you can come in my boat, but please don't baa all the time." "No, I won't," said the lamb. So the lamb got in the boat. And then they saw Chicken. And Chicken said, "Mr. Gumpy, could I have a turn and could I come in your boat?" Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, but Chicken, please don't flap about." "Don't worry, I won't." So Chicken got in the boat. Then they saw the cow. And Cow said, "Mr. Gumpy, can I have a ride in your boat?" And Mr. Gumpy looked at his boat and said, "I think my boat is too full for any more animals." And Cow said, "Don't worry, I won't take up much room." So Mr. Gumpy said, "Okay, but don't be mooing all the time." "Don't worry, I won't," said Cow. And he got in the boat. And then finally, near the end of the river, they saw Goat. And Goat said, "Mr. Gumpy, your boat looks very full, but is there room just for me?" And Mr. Gumpy said, "I suppose, but Goat, please don't kick." "Don't worry, I won't," said Goat. And Goat got in the boat. They were going down the river just having a great time when all of a sudden, goat kicked and cow mooed and sheep baaed and the pig mucked about. The chicken flapped its wings. The dog was chasing the cat. And the cat was chasing the rabbit. And the rabbit hopped about. The little girl and the little boy argued. And pretty soon the boat tipped over and they all fell out of the boat into the river. Mr. Gumpy said, "Now look at all of us. We're wet and not happy." So they all swam to shore. They all laid in the sun and dried off. And Mr. Gumpy said, "Now everybody, I don't mind giving you rides in my boat. But next time, let's remember, we're not going to argue. We're not going to hop. We're not going to chase the rabbit. We're not going to tease the cat. We're not going to baa all the time. We're not going to flap our wings. We're not going to moo all the time. We're not going to muck about. And we're not going to kick." And they all agreed it would be much more fun if they just went down the river in the boat. And that's the story of Mr. Gumpy's outing.